Alrighty, what a beautiful day. The storm just lifted up a little bit. I think we got a little break in the weather for an hour or two. Just enough, to get started working on something and then piss and pour again. All right, so we're gonna try to cut this back plate. I found some scrap metal. I think what we're gonna do is take some metal, put it in here, move the license plate in the middle. That way when I install the backup camera, it'll be lined up right here, perfect, right in the middle, as it should be. Jog down me some little measurements. So it looks like we're gonna do 40 and a quarter. That's from here over to the other side. And then I figure 7 3/4 from here to here. And then all together it'll be 14 3/4, so to stop about right here. And what we're gonna do is notch it here and then let it come back in a little bit, and then we'll stop it about right here. And then we're gonna weld this to the frame. We're gonna install our license plate, our 7-way, everything will be here, and it'll be stationary. That is the plan. It is a little chilly. I had to go get my hoodie, put it on. So this is some scrap metal I've had laying around, and I've been just using it for my welding cart before I put off-road wheels on, so it would slide on here. Don't really need it anymore. I've been too lazy. It's so damn heavy, I just left it here. It's 8 foot or 9 foot long. But if you haven't seen some of my other videos, I made a cart stand for my welding cart. So it's got off-road wheels, so I can roll it around the yard. Makes it life so much easier. So anyway, we're gonna get a Sharpie and we're gonna make it look like that. We'll mark it on here, and then we'll take our old zip wheel and go do a little dicing and cutting. Forgot to check. I'm guessing this is probably 10 gauge. Like I said, it's heavy and it's thick. So I got me one of these gauges. Just bought off the old Amazon. The 10 gauges right there. So let's need to stand this thing up. She's all there. And a bag of chips. All right. Yep, my guess was right. 10 gauge. That's 1/8. It's a little bigger than 1/8. So, yep, 10 gauge. So that's gonna work out great. It's gonna be nice and thick. And once that's welded in, it shouldn't move around any. It's gonna be heavy duty. All right, enough talking. Let's get to marking. And of course, I got the crappiest tape measure. I cannot find my good tape measures. I got them scattered everywhere. $40 and a quarter. Dang, it's gonna be big. That's a big one. Okay, we got 40 and a quarter. there's our first mark. We need to go 7 3/4 up. Okay. And then when you go 14 3/4. I'm just putting a mark here, a mark in the middle, a mark over here. I'm not going all the way across, just a little bit, because you can see we're just going 7 3/4, and then we're just gonna go up a little bit, kind of an angle my dangle. I forgot the 14 3/4. We can mark all the way across. We gotta cut that. All right. So next is 38 1/2. So we need to find our center somewhere here on our 40 1/4, and then our center up there, and then we should do 38 1/2. You know what I'm trying to say. You'll see. So, if you don't want to do the math in your head, which I know it's going to be 20 1/8, but let's just say, so 40 1/4. Put your mark right there. Go down the other end, and you can't see. Come on, camera. Anyway, I should show you. I cannot see crap. Yep, so 20 1/8. That's a quick way to divide it if you can't do it in your head. Okay. Move you guys up. Now you can see we got our center. So now we need to do 38 1/2. We need to divide that, so we'll go 38 1/2 right there on the old tape measure. Come down the other end, take a gander, and it's going to be 19. Can you guys see? 19 1/4. Okay, so that's going to be our next center. 19 1/4. $19 1/4. Okay. Alrighty. I went and measured again. And I decided to go 7 1/4 from here to here. Because the C channel on the truck will end up right about here somewhere. Anyway, so instead of 7 3/4 here, we did 7 1/4. We are then we had to do 38 1/2. Divide 38 1/2, comes out 19 1/4. And that brought us out to right there. You can see where I wrote down cut, which it looks like gut, but I was in a hurry. Anyway, that's where we'll cut along there. That was our old line. We'll ignore that, and we're ready to start cutting. Let the sparks begin. Yeah. Well, that didn't last very long. 10 gauge eats that metal up. Let me go get another blade. Well, crap, now my battery's dead and it's starting to sprinkle. I'm gonna have to plug in my big grinder. I was trying to use this because it's lighter, easier to handle. Alrighty, well, I think that's gonna work. As you can see, we'll have to do a little trimming. Let me drop you guys down a little bit. All right. So we do got to notch it here. So you can see the C-frame comes all the way out here. C-channel comes all the way out here. So we'll have to mark it. And we'll have to cut a little notch for that to sit inside, and that can be all welded up. We'll have to round the edge down this corner because the weld down here, and then it'll fit in there just perfect. Yeah, that looks good. I'm liking that. And of course, like I said, it's going to be recessed in more. It'll be even with this, so it's going to go in. Let's show you. It's going to go behind this, so it'll be back here. So I think it's going to work. I'm going to go get my Sharpie and do a little bit more cut. Figure out on the Sharpie, mark it, and then I'll just cut that out so it'll fit in there in that frame. When it sits in there, we can weld top and bottom. So this plate will be good and strong. 10 gauge leftover metal. It's going to look good. Closing that big old gap. We don't like big gaps. All right. I'll keep plugging away on it, and I'll show you what it looks like later. See you in a little bit. Peace out. All right, we're playing with our speaker box. Went to Hobby Lobby, got me this 5-pound premium fiber fill. So it's just polyfiber. That's what I've always called it. Pull my kickers out. We're gonna do a little repairs on them. I did notice there's a couple little holes when I really got to looking. That's probably from somebody's drill slipping and popping, because see, it's right above that hole. I've been guilty of doing that when I was younger. It happens. Seemed like there was another hole. I think that's the only one on this one. So we'll fix that. And there was one over here too. Same thing. That's what I love about the Charger. You know, when I'm not driving it, it makes a good workbench. Let's see. Well, I swore I seen some. Oh, there it is. Little tiny hole. So, we're going to attempt to fix it with some foam sheeting. It's about the same thickness. What is this? 2 millimeter. I was going to get black, but all they got is like these silly colors. So, that's what we're going to do. But I guess I can at least keep an eye on my patch job. So we're going to cut a little piece, glue it on here. And this is the glue I use. The E6000. Like I said, I got this all at Hobby Lobby. You can see 99 cents for a sheet of this. This was like $4. And I think I paid a little extra. You don't have to get this much. You can just get a small $5 or $3 bag. But I got a bunch of stereo cabinets that I'm going to pack it full of polyfiber. So I went ahead and got me a box. So, I don't know if this is going to work. I seen some YouTubers repairing the ring, the foam ring with the foam paper. So we'll try it, or foam sheet. We're going to attempt it. So you'll do it you'll cut a piece for here, glue it, and then you'll flip it over, Actually, we'll probably start the other side first, the inside. Ugh, can't do this one-handed. Sucker's heavy. Then we'll come in here, find where the little hole is, clean it. I'll probably have to take my finger and smear that glue in there, and then we'll just push that fiber sheeting in there. So we're going to do it on the inside, outside. I've already soldered my connections. Not a very pretty solder job, but it'll hold. That way we don't got to worry about it vibrating loose. So packing your speaker box with polyfiber really helps, especially if you have a cheap box like this. You won't hear that thump, 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 yet rattling sound, hopefully. And it'll keep your box from blowing apart, because if you start really jamming out, you'll start blowing your wires loose. I've seen these with the pressure, popping these out just like that. So when you put the polyfiber in, that really helps all that. It kind of absorbs it all. It also gives your bass a little bit cleaner, deep sound. The only bad thing is it does take a lot more power to make them thump. So they are a little bit more power hungry when you do it without a port. I may drill a hole in here and put a port in later, and you can still have the polyfiber in. It will not hurt anything. It'll just kind of... Sometimes I'll put a pantyhose or something on the inside so the polyfiber don't get blown out. So this is what we do. You just pull it. We'll pack that cavity full back here. It does not have to be really tight. You probably don't want it packed tight. You want it kind of loose. So I just kind of push it and then kind of let it naturally come out. I mean, there's no wrong way of doing it, but like I said, I kind of keep it loose. That way, that when that bass hits, it has something to spring back on. If you pack it too tight, then you're not allowing that air to flow like it needs to flow, if you know what I mean. That's all we're doing, just shoving it in the corners. I usually do pack it a little tighter around your connections. That way it doesn't try to blow it out when you're got bass, hard hitting bass. You don't want that blowing out, so I'll pack that tight around that. Other than that, that's all we're doing. Easy peasy. It'll make it sound better, and it'll keep this box from getting blown apart. If I end up jamming out, which, you know, I may. You know, you hear that great song that just come on, you haven't heard in a while, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna thump to that. Then you get pulled over for, you know, noise pollution. Like, that's entirely too loud. You're getting a ticket. Display of power. All right. I think that's going to work. Just good. That's good enough. All right. We got to figure out, get this all cleaned up and try to get these woofers repaired. And then I'm going to solder them onto the connections. Both sides. There's our positive and then our negative. Like I said, we're going to solder them on. That way we ain't got to worry about them coming loose. All right. Let me get this all set up real quick. Yeah, it's nothing like getting a bunch of glue on your fingers. So I got my glue in there. I just cut me a little 1.5 by 1 inch. You can see, crammed it in there. Glue's drying fast, so got her crammed in there. That's the outside. Now we'll do the Or that's the inside. Now we'll do the outside. So now we'll just cut a little strip for right there. I'll put some glue on there. I got this little hump there, so I don't know what I need to do here. I may just cut me just a little slither. I guess you guys couldn't see what I was doing. May just cut me a little slither to put right there since there's a little raised bump. Cut us a little piece. And of course my scissors are not that great. So I got the damn camera zoomed in too much. This glue works really good because when it dries, it's like rubber. You can already see it's pretty pliable. Probably ought to get like a brush. Stuff's drying fast. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and solder this woofer together. You can see I repaired it on the inside. The outside was right on the edge, so I just put the glue on there. Like I said, look, it's all over my fingers. It's like rubber when it dries. I think that's gonna be good enough. All right, let's get this soldered up. So I like using this flux whenever you have thicker wire. Kind of lets that solder soak in a little quicker. So all I did is just ran the wire in the hole, and then now I'm just gonna solder all this up. Take my flux. That's kind of what you want. You want it to melt into the connecting pin. That way you got a good tight fit. This is our positive. Now we'll go to the negative. You guys couldn't see that, could you? I'm a horrible camera person. Sorry. All right. So that should be good. That one's good. Okay, we got too much polyfiber. It's not letting the speaker sit down all the way. That's right where the magnet is, so we'll just kind of push it. All I'm doing is thinning it out at the bottom where the magnet goes. There we go. That one's ready to get screwed. Okay, now I don't know if I want to do this off camera because, no, my luck, I'd be screwing and whoop, right into the damn ring. So I'm just going to get a few of them started and then tighten them all down. You notice I kind of take my fingers and hold it like this. That way, if I do slip, hopefully it'll hit my fingers and not the freaking woofer. All right, one woofer done. Now we gotta do this next one. You get the idea. All right, we're getting closer. So I think next we got to go get the amplifier wired up in the old truck. Oh, you can't even see, can you? Way over there. We got to get that amplifier hooked up on that truck. because I'm excited to try these kickers out. Boom, 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 boom. Hopefully it sounds better than that. Budweiser. She's done. All right, we're done. We gotta get that put in the truck. I'm sorry, guys. We just been all over the place. I had to come back in here, work on the speaker box because it started raining on me, so I didn't get to finish my plate. Now it stopped raining, but now it's about 7:30, and we're losing daylight now. Dagnabbit. I really need to get that truck over here and do some welding. But I'm gonna have to clean that frame up, so I probably need to pressure wash that thing. It needs a good bath. But I think my next good day, I'll probably get out there and get that all wired up, get that amplifier wired up. We got to get back on the 59 Ford too. Joshua is 16 now, and we still haven't got that done. I like to get it finished up. I got all the brakes done, but now the brake pedal that I put on is too far forward, so we need to do some cutting and twisting and bending and, you know, modifications. A lot of stuff to do, Well, hopefully it's going to start getting nicer. It is April, and you know, when it's April, it rains all the time. Yay. All right. Peace out again. Yeah.